What is private credit? And what is private equity? And what are the different strategies to consider before investing? We're going to cover all that and more today. Hi, I'm Chelsea Ganey, and today we're going to do a quick overview of private equity and private credit. Let's get started. Private credit is really a loan to a private company, a debt instrument similar to what we see in the public market, but it's done by a private firm instead of the more traditional method through a bank or an institution. Increased banking regulations have really allowed for private credit lenders to step in and fill that void for private companies to gain the capital they need to grow. Private credit strategies are typically loans that are floating rate in nature and can really help someone insulate their portfolio from interest rate volatility. Private credit is great to consider for investors who are seeking higher income in their portfolio, but don't have short-term liquidity needs. Some strategies to consider within private credit is direct lending, which is really a direct loan from a private lender to an institution that is underwritten based on the potential cash flows of the business or even an underlying asset. Other strategies within private credit are things such as distressed debt, which is investing in a company that's going through significant financial hardship or maybe even bankruptcy to try and take over and really improve the company and gain a return on their investment. Another strategy would be alternative credit, which is really asset-based lending, such as credit cards, small business loans, mortgages, airplanes, aviation, a multitude of things that can help provide income in a portfolio. So that's private credit. Private equity, on the other hand, is investing or maybe taking ownership of a company and adding value through improvements and efficiencies and eventually selling it, hopefully for a profit. So what are some of the strategies? One to consider is growth equity, and that's when a private equity firm will provide capital and make an investment in a private company to help give it the funds they need to really grow and scale their business. Another strategy is buyout investing, and that is when a private equity manager will take a controlling interest or even take over an already established business and add operational value and efficiencies, and then sell it to another company or investor, or even exit through an IPO or an initial public offering in the stock market. Now let's talk about secondaries. Secondaries are when you are purchasing someone else's interest in a private equity investment. These investments, as we've covered, are illiquid in nature and have long-term time horizons, but sometimes investors such as institutions like endowments, pensions, foundations have liquidity needs that they didn't foresee in their portfolio, and they're able to sell to other investors, but typically at a discount because there's an inherent illiquidity in this market since it's not tradable like the stock market. So what are the risks with public credit and private equity investing? First one, like we've mentioned, is a lack of liquidity. And there are long-term investment time horizons associated with these investments for very good reason, but there are also new product structures and things in the market that we can consider through evergreen or semi-liquid investments. Another one is manager selection. Manager due diligence, understanding who your investment team are, what their capabilities are in this market and their track record, as well as all the things that go along with their operations and compliance are paramount when selecting who you want to give your money to. Within private credit, credit default is certainly a risk that investors have to consider. We really focus here at Moran Wealth Management on selecting managers that have invested through multiple market cycles and have very low loss and high recovery rates. One way that could help mitigate these risks is by speaking out to a member on our team. If you're interested, please click on the link below and connect with one of our advisors that can help walk you through these private equity and private credit investments and see how it could fit in your portfolio. I'm Chelsea Ganey, and this has been our quick overview of private equity and private credit investing. We'll see you next time.